Hello friends, today we are going to start a new chapter of industrial engineering, that is waiting line theory or queuing theory. So basically you know the word that is queue. Okay, you know the word queue. Okay, so queue is simply queue also means line. Okay, queue also means line. So we have to study about queue theory, okay, or line theory. Simply in industrial we do not say it as line, we say it as queue. Okay, so you already know that it is most probably used in railway counters, okay, cinema hall counters, hospitals, okay, in ATM machines also. Okay, so you can think that what is the use of this chapter in from the engineering point of view. Okay, why we are going to do that? Okay, at the railway tickets counter, at the cinema hall counters, or anywhere, why we are going to do that? So basically we have to study the mathematical model. Okay, we have to study the mathematical model or mathematical entity of this chapter. Okay, so you cannot think that only a person can stand in the queue or line. There can be objects, okay, objects which are going to be processed on certain machines. Okay, in the ATMs you can see that the persons are standing, but at the other end who is providing the service is not a human being, it is a machine. So it can be applied to anywhere. Okay, it can be applied to anywhere. So basically what we are going to do, why we are going to study this subject or this chapter is that basically there are two things. Okay, there is a queue. Okay, in the queue any object can be there or any person can be standing. Okay, actually they are waiting. Okay, they are waiting that when my turn is going to come so that I can get the service. So at the one end there are people waiting in the queue, and at the other end there is a person or there is a window who is providing the service, and that person or that window is known as server. Okay, so it consists of queue, it consists of a server. Okay, so basically what happens whenever a person waits in the queue for a longer duration of time? Okay, so basically what he is going to do, uh, he is going to, simply you can say, he is wasting his time. Okay, he is wasting his time in the queue, and if he gets the service early, okay, suppose he comes in the queue and gets the service quickly, so what he can do is that he can use that wasted time somewhere else. Okay, so basically our aim is to establish the economic balance between waiting of the customer and service provider. Okay, so basically we will say that the aim of this topic is to establish an economic balance between cost of providing service and cost associated with waiting of the customer. So how you can think that, suppose I am going drawing a graph. Okay, I am going to draw a graph. So at the y-axis we are assuming cost, and at the x-axis we are assuming service. Okay, service level, you can say service level. Okay, that at what rate we are provided the service, or the customer who are waiting in the queue are being served. So what happens, suppose if the rate at which the service is being provided, okay, suppose the rate at which the servicing being provided is very high. Okay, is very high, it means that the customer has to wait for a shorter duration in the queue. Okay, suppose if the service is being provided at a very fast rate, the customer has to wait in the queue for a less duration. It means the cost associated with waiting of the customer, the cost associated with waiting of the customer will decrease. So this red color line shows that it is the cost associated with waiting of the customer. waiting of the customer. Why I have drawn the graph like this? Suppose the service level here, you can see, you can plot the x versus y point. Okay, suppose the service level is very slow, so the cost of waiting will be high. As the service level increases, the cost of waiting will decrease. Okay, the cost of waiting will decrease. And but since the service level is increasing, okay, the service level is increasing, the cost of service providing is also increasing. Okay, the cost of service which is being provided is also increasing. It means that the graph is going to be like this. So this black color line shows that this line is of cost of providing the service. You can see customer wants that the service level should be higher. Okay, customer will think that the service level should be fast, so that the cost of waiting of the customer decreases. But at the other end, since the service level is increasing, so the cost of providing the service also increases. It means we have to obtain the optimum. Okay, we have to obtain the optimum, we have to establish the economic balance. Okay, we cannot do that. We cannot only look for the waiting of the customer. Okay, we cannot only look for the waiting of the customer, we have to look at both the aspects. Okay, we have to look at both the aspects. It means we have to look for the optimum. Okay, we have to look for the optimum. So a new graph will be formed, and this is the optimum. It means this blue color point will say the optimum service level. Okay, it shows that if the service level is optimum, then the cost associated with it is minimum. Okay, the cost associated with both, that is cost of providing the service and cost of associated with waiting of the customer, will be minimum. Okay, so in this chapter our aim is to establish this economic balance or optimum balance. So basically we can say that the aim is to maintain an economic balance between cost associated with waiting of the customer and cost associated with waiting of the customer and cost of providing the service. Okay, so this is going to be the aim of this chapter. Okay, we have to establish an economic balance, we have to provide a service level at which the cost is minimum. That means both the cost should be minimum or it should be optimum. Okay, so where it is used in the hospitals. Okay, it is used in the hospitals, it is used in the railway ticket counters. Okay, it can be used at the garage shop of a mechanic. Okay, it can be used anywhere, and we have to study the mathematical models associated with this topic. Okay, we have to study the mathematical model or mathematical distribution of this topic. So we can say that the examples it can be used at the hospitals, it can be used as a ticket counters. Okay, it can be used at the mechanic shop, it can be used at the ATM machine, etc. Okay, it is not like something that only a person can wait in the queue. Okay, it is not like that only a person or only a people can wait in the queue. Objects can also wait, so that it gets the processed. Okay, it is getting the required machining or anything. Okay, so objects can also wait in the queue. So there will be something associated with this chapter. So what will be there? What will be there? Suppose there is a doctor. Okay, there is a doctor. Okay, there is a doctor, and this doctor is basically the server. Okay, this doctor is basically the server who is providing the service to the customer or patients, and these are the customers who are waiting in the queue. Okay, these are the customers who are waiting in the queue so that they can get the service of the doctor. So these people, okay, this cross mark shows the people standing in the queue. So you can think that these people will be arriving, okay, from somewhere. Okay, suppose this is a place. Okay, this is a place. This is a place from where the customers are coming. This is a place from where the customers are arriving in the queue. Okay, this is a place from where customers are arriving in the queue. Okay, so there will be some rate. Okay, there will be some rate that customers are arriving in the queue. Suppose it is 10 customers per hour. Okay, it means in every 1 hour 10 customers are arriving in the queue. Okay, it can be possible that fixed number of customers are arriving in the queue. So there will be some words that the first word is arrival. Okay, there can be arrival. Okay, the first word is arrival. The second word is service. The second word is service. Service, who will provide? Doctor will provide. Okay, and he will provide the service at a particular rate, that at 10 customers per hour. Okay, the rate of providing service is 10 customers per hour. And there will be one more thing, that is the customer will come from here to the queue, they will get the service and they will just depart. Okay, so another word is departure. They will come from here to the queue and they will move in the queue waiting for their turn. They will get the service and they will depart from the system. Okay, they will depart from the system. So whenever we see arrival, it means the arrival is going to follow a certain kind of mathematical distribution. Okay, arrival is going to follow certain kind of mathematical distribution. You have to also remember it. Okay, you have to remember it, that in case of queuing model or waiting line model, the arrival and service both are going to follow some of the mathematical distributions. Okay, so basically arrival or you can say arrival rate. Okay, arrival rate, it follows Poisson's distributions. It follows Poisson's distribution. Okay, and service rate, it follows exponential distribution. Okay, these things have been observed, okay, by the mathematician. They are basically going to the queue and they are observing that what is the rate, okay, what is the arrival rate and what is the service rate. So they have decided that the arrival rate is going to be Poisson's distribution, the arrival rate is going to follow the Poisson's distribution, and this service rate is going to follow the exponential distribution. Okay, since the arrival is random in nature, okay, arrival is random in nature, that's why an arrival is always random in nature. Okay, an arrival is always random in nature, that's why it is going to follow a Poisson's distribution. You know about Poisson distribution, that whenever the things are unpredictable, okay, whenever the things are random in nature, then we are going to follow the Poisson's distribution. Like that only, arrival is also random, anybody can come. Okay, anybody can come at any time. So arrival is random and it is going to follow the Poisson's distribution. So basically what happens, okay, this is the server and this is the queue. Okay, this is the queue, this is the queue, and customers are waiting. Okay, the customers are waiting in the queue. These are basically the waiting customer. Okay, these are basically the waiting customer. And they are coming from this place. Okay, they are coming from this place. Okay, they are just coming from this place to the queue. So this is known as calling population. Okay, this is known as calling population. It means this population will just go into the queue and they will get the service. Okay, they will get the service. It is basically the server or the service provider. Okay, and this is the queue. These are the blue color markers shows the waiting customer, and there will be one term that shows the server plus the customer. Okay, the server plus the customer who is getting the service. Okay, I'm making a blue color box that shows the server plus the customer who is getting the service. This combined thing is known as system. Okay, okay, this combined thing is known as system. So this is all about queuing theory. Okay, that there will be one calling population, there will be one waiting customer, there will be one server. Okay, there will be one server. So we already know that arrival will follow Poisson distribution, and the server and the service rate is going to follow the exponential distribution. Okay, so what are the characteristics? Okay, what are the characteristics of queuing model, or you can say what are the types of queuing model? So basically there are three types of queuing model. Okay, basically there are three types of queuing model. The first one, you will see that it is server 1. Okay, it is server 2, and this is server 3. Okay, there are three service providers. Okay, there are three service providers, and people are waiting in the queue, and people are waiting in the queue to get the service. So it is basically when more than one service providers are present, when more than one service providers are present, then this type of queuing model is known as multiple server model. Okay, multiple servers means more than one service provider is there. Okay, multiple service model. And the second one is, this is the first one, and the second one is when there will be only one service provider. Okay, he is the server and he is single-handedly providing the service to each and every customer. So only one service provider is there. So this is known as single server model. Okay, there can be single server model that only one person is going to provide the service. Okay, so these can be the two types of the queuing model, in which one of them is multiple server model and the other is one single server model. Okay, the other ones can be finite queue length, and the second one can be infinite queue length. Okay, finite queue length and infinite queue length. Suppose there is a doctor. Okay, there is a doctor who is providing the service, or you can say it is a server, and people are standing in the queue to get the service. Okay, so The doctor does not, suppose the doctor says that let any number of people come into the office. Okay, let any number of people come into the office or come into the queue. It means here the number is not limited. Okay, anybody can come and get the service. Okay, here the number is not limited, so we can say that this follows the infinite queue length. The length of the queue is not fixed. Okay, the length of the queue is not fixed. Any amount of person can stand in the queue to get the service. So these type of models will be known as infinite queue length model. Okay, these type of models will be known as infinite queue length model, when any number of people can stand in the queue to get the service. Okay, but suppose there is a mechanic shop. Okay, he is basically the server. Okay, he is basically the server, and he has put limitation, okay, for the queue, that 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. He has put limitation, or he has a limited space, you can say he has a limited space of 5 cars at one time. Okay, 5 cars, 5, there is a space to park only 5 cars. Okay, so infinite number of people cannot join the queue. Okay, only 5 people can join the queue. Suppose the 6th person came. Okay, suppose the 6th person comes to the queue. When he looks that there is no space, he goes back. He will not join the queue. Because there is no space, because it has been fixed. Okay, why? Because it is a finite queue. And so these type of models are known as finite queue length. Okay, finite queue length model. Okay, so you can take the example of the garage shop or the mechanic shop, in which the number of space for the cars are fixed. Okay, anybody cannot come and join. When the 6th person will came, he will see that there is no space left for the car parking, so he will go back. But at this place, any number of people can come and join the space. Okay, so this type of queue length is known as infinite queue length, and these type of queue length are known as finite queue length. Okay, when the number of people in the queue is not limited, and here when the number of people in the queue is limited. From the name only you can get the clarity. Okay, there is no need to write the definition for each and everything. And the third one is finite population model. The second one is infinite population model. Finite population model and infinite population model. So again, what is finite population model and what is infinite population model? Okay, again, these are two different models. So infinite population model, you can say that suppose these are the jobs. Okay, these are the jobs 1, job 2 and job 3, and they are requiring the maintenance. Okay, they are requiring the maintenance, and there is a mechanic group of 30. Okay, so basically there are a mechanic group of 30 people. Okay, 30 people are the mechanic who can provide maintenance to these jobs. Okay, so it means that you will call any of the 30 from this group only. Okay, you can call any of the 30 mechanics from this group only. You cannot call anyone. Okay, suppose if you are going to call anyone, then it may be a doctor. Okay, doctor is not going to do the maintenance of the job. Okay, doctor is not going to do the maintenance of a job. It means fixed number of people can join this service. Okay, so you can say that fixed number of people. Okay, they are only 30. You can call those people from this group only. So these type of models are known as finite population model, when only finite population person can come and provide the service. Okay, these type of models are known as finite population model. But in case of infinite population model, suppose a doctor is there, and people are standing in the queue to get the service. So, and this is the calling population. This is the calling population. So from here, anyone can come and get the service. Anyone can come. Okay, anyone can come. Okay, to doctor anyone can come. Suppose, but here we have fixed the number. We have fixed the number that only 30 people can come. But here anyone can come and join the queue to get the service. So these type of models are known as infinite population model. Infinite population models mean anyone from the calling population can come and join the queue. But here only 30 people from the calling population can join the service. Okay, so it is basically finite population model and it is infinite population model. Okay, when any number of or anybody can come and join the queue, when anybody can come and join the queue, it is known as infinite population model. And when only a finite group of people or a finite number of people can join the service, then it is known as finite population model. So in our syllabus we will deal with infinite population model. Okay, mostly we are going to deal with infinite population model. Okay, in which anybody can come and join the queue. Anybody can come and join the queue, but here only a finite number of people or only a group of people can join the queue. Here anyone can come from the calling population and join the queue. Okay, so we have talked about arrival rate. So again I am writing that arrival rate, it is represented by lambda. Okay, it is represented by lambda. But it says that number of customers arriving per hour. Okay, so unit is going to be customer per hour or per minute. Okay, and second one is service rate. Second one is service rate. It is represented by mu. So it is the number of customer being served per hour. Number of customer being served per hour. And here also the unit is going to be customer or number of customers per hour. Okay, so you have to remember the notations. Okay, so that when we are going to do the mathematical analysis, these notations are coming into use. So service rate is mu and the arrival rate is lambda. Service rate is mu and arrival rate is lambda. And generally your lambda is going to be less than mu. Okay, your lambda is going to be less than mu. Okay, generally the lambda is going to be less than mu. Okay, it means the rate of arrival will be less than the rate of service. Okay, suppose the rate of arrival exceeds. Okay, suppose the rate of arrival exceeds. So what will happen? The system will fail. Okay, system will fail. The number of people standing in the queue will be very large and the rate of providing the service will be very less. So the system is going to fail. Okay, so these are the basic characteristics and introduction about this chapter. In the next lecture we will study some of the more theoretical topics. Okay, this is very small topics. 1 marks question is fixed. Okay, 1 marks questions are coming directly. Okay, directly I am going to write the formula and you are going to remember it and solve the numerical examples. So just go through these terms. Okay, and by the end of the lectures you will be more clear about the concept that how we are going to do it. Okay, thank you.